Imagine stumbling upon a giant stone head weighing as much as 4 elephants, staring back at you from the depths of a jungle. Now, imagine finding 17 of them. These aren't props from an ancient sci-fi movie. They're the colossal heads of the Olmec civilization, and they hold secrets that have baffled archaeologists for nearly a century. Who were these giants? And why did an ancient culture invest so much effort into carving them, only to have them vanish into the mists of time? Welcome to the Bizarre Bureau, where today we read peeling back the layers of jungle and mystery to uncover the truth behind Mesoamerica's first, and perhaps most enigmatic great civilization. The story begins in the 1860s in the swampy lowlands of Mexico's Gulf Coast. A farm worker clearing land hit something hard. It wasn't just a rock. It was the top of an immense carved stone head. This first discovery, later named Tresapot's Monument A, was unlike anything seen before. Its features full lips, a broad nose, and eyes that seemed to hold a silent, powerful gaze were distinct and masterfully carved. But it would be another 60 years before the world truly began to understand the significance of this find. It was the calling card of the Olmecs, a civilization so old, they are considered the mother culture of all later Mesoamerican societies, including the Maya and the Aztecs. To appreciate the scale of this achievement, we need to talk logistics. These heads are massive. The smallest weighs around 6 tons, while the largest, still unfinished at its quarry, is estimated at a staggering 50 tons. They were carved from single blocks of volcanic basalt, a rock that is incredibly hard and durable. But here's the kicker. The nearest sources of this basalt were over 150 kilometers away from the Olmec heartland, sites like San Lorenzo and La Venta. How did they move these behemoths across rivers, swamps, and dense jungle without wheeled vehicles or large draft animals like oxen or horses? The leading theory is a testament to incredible human ingenuity and social organization. Archaeologists believe the Olmecs likely dragged these massive stone blocks to the nearest river, then loaded them onto enormous balsa wood rafts during the wet season when water levels were high. From there, they would have floated them downriver as close as possible to their final destination, before once again dragging them overland. This wasn't a task for a few people. It would have required the coordinated effort of thousands of laborers, all working together under a powerful central authority. This feat alone tells us the Olmecs had a complex hierarchical society capable of mobilizing immense manpower for monumental projects. It speaks of a society with powerful rulers, skilled engineers, and a deeply ingrained belief system that made such an undertaking worthwhile. So, who are these faces frozen in stone? For a long time, their identity was a complete mystery. The expressions are individualized. No two heads are exactly alike. They all wear what appears to be a protective helmet, similar to those seen in ancient ball game art, suggesting they were figures of importance. The consensus among scholars today is that these are portraits of powerful Olmec rulers. Each head likely represents a specific king, carved during his reign to project his power and divine authority. The helmet might signify his role not just as a political leader, but also as a formidable warrior or a key player in the sacred Mesoamerican ballgame, which was more of a religious ritual than a mere sport. Think of them as the ultimate royal statues, a permanent declaration of a king's legacy, carved into eternal stone. They were a way of saying, I am the ruler. This is my face. This is my power. But the mystery deepens when we look at how they were found. Many of these heads show signs of deliberate mutilation. Noses are chipped, faces are pockmarked, and some appear to have been intentionally damaged before being buried. Why would a civilization go to such lengths to create these masterpieces only to deface them? Early theories suggested invasion or rebellion, with a new dynasty or an uprising of the common people toppling the statues of the old rulers. It's a dramatic image, but modern archaeology points to a more complex and ritualistic explanation. It's possible this mutilation was actually part of a sacred ritual. When a ruler died, his portrait might have been ritually killed or decommissioned. By damaging the statue, the Olmecs could have been neutralizing its spiritual power, ensuring a smooth transition of power to the next ruler. It wasn't an act of hatred, but an act of cosmic housekeeping. Another theory is that the damage was a way to recarve a monument. Instead of quarrying a new 40-ton boulder, it might have been easier to take the monument of a past ruler and reshape it into the face of the current one. The damage we see could be the remnants of this recycling process. Many of the heads were also found carefully arranged in lines or groups at major ceremonial centers before being buried, suggesting their final placement was just as important as their creation. They weren't just discarded. They were ceremonially interred, put to rest like the rulers they represented. Around 400 BC, after more than 1,000 years of cultural dominance, the Olmec civilization began to decline. Major centers like La Venta were abandoned, and the tradition of carving colossal heads ceased. The reasons for this collapse are still debated. Environmental changes, such as the silting of rivers that were crucial for transport and agriculture, could have played a major role. Volcanic eruptions may have covered farmland with ash, leading to famine. It's also possible that internal conflict or shifting trade routes weakened the power of the Olmec elite, leading to the gradual abandonment of their great cities. Whatever the cause, the Olmecs seemed to simply fade away, their cities consumed by the jungle and their legacy buried in the earth. Their colossal heads became silent guardians of a lost world. When the Aztecs rose to power over 1,000 years later, they discovered these heads and, having no knowledge of the Olmecs, believed them to be the work of a mythical race of giants from a previous age. They incorporated them into their own mythology, unknowingly paying tribute to their cultural ancestors. The legacy of the Olmecs is monumental, just like their sculptures. They gave Mesoamerica its first writing system, the concept of the number zero, a sophisticated calendar, and a ritual ballgame. Their art, with its distinctive word jaguar motif, a hybrid of a human and a jaguar, influenced countless cultures that followed. They laid the political, religious, and artistic foundations upon which the Maya, the Teotihuacanos, and the Aztecs would later build their own magnificent empires. Today, these 17 colossal heads are scattered in museums across Mexico, where they continue to captivate us. They are more than just archaeological artifacts. They are direct personal links to the rulers of a distant past. Staring into their solemn, powerful faces, you can't help but feel a sense of awe. They are the silent witnesses to the rise and fall of Mesoamerica's first great civilization. They remind us that even the most powerful empires can be reclaimed by nature, and that sometimes the grandest stories are told not in books, but in stone. The mystery isn't just who they were, but what they saw, and the silent message they carry across 3,000 years of history. Thank you for joining us at the Bizarre Bureau as we explored the enigmatic world of the Olmec Colossal Heads. What do you think is the biggest secret these stone giants are still keeping? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation into the world's most fascinating mysteries. Until next time, stay curious.